Okay. Hi, I'm Matthew Bradbury, and I'm from 85B VEX Robotics. For VEX Robotics, I am the our main programmer, and we're just gonna be going over game analysis, that shit, cause the rulebook was just released, so let's see what is going on. So we're gonna head over to this browser quick and quickly, couple things. First of all,
Receive.
not that. First things first is that if we go to the actual field, we see that it is very open. Like
Pushback.
like more open than we've seen it
Pushback is
before.
played on a 12-foot.
Here is a picture of the field. It is very open, like I said, and it's gonna lead to, I think, a lot of head-to-head, like mashing of robots, really aggressive gameplay because of how open this field is, and I feel like that's gonna create some a really good game, specifically for this. Uh, Now, a couple of things. First of all, there are 88 blocks on the field. That is a shit ton of blocks. Um, so that's gonna have to be something that you have to get good at, is being able to keep track of all these blocks on the field. Uh, next thing, next thing we're gonna look at is we are actually gonna look at the if we look at the design for these wall loaders quick here, um we see that it is a very odd way for a game loader to be used. um we've got uh we've got a little lip at this bottom, which could definitely make it really hard to get it out of. We've got we've got what is this called? Like a really open surrounding of the ball. So uh robots with sideways intake, like the one that is displayed here, is going to be able to grab this really well just because of how far back this plastic is cut. The other thing is, it looks like there are 6 of these balls stacked up. Whether or not you can have more than that, we don't know yet. We'll find out when we look at the rule book. But I can imagine that these could be kind of hard to take out. I saw some video online. These are about 40 grams, so they're like significantly lighter than the rings, which were between 1 and 200 grams. So it's not going to be like super heavy, but if you have 6 of these stacked up, it's still going to add some weight. So you're going to need a decently strong intake maybe to get these. We're not 100% sure yet. Uh, the other thing is the design of these long goals and the short ones are both very interesting. So we've got this long tube that can hold 15 balls, if you want to call them that. They're really just like an 18 shape or uh, shaped geometric shape. I don't know. Um, But the concept of being able to push the balls off onto the other side is very interesting. And then we also have this control point in the center that is roughly 4 balls, up to like 5 balls, 4 or 5 balls. And it's whoever controls the most balls in there is going to get a bonus. Believe it's 18 points if we look, or 10 points. I don't know where I got 18 from. It's 10 points for each of the long ones, 8 points for the high center goal, and then we have 6 points for the low center goal, which here they are. Um, and so you can kind of see the design better here, but the main thing that I'm kind of interested in is how these are kind of open across the top. You still really can't see it too well here. See if I can find a good place that shows it well. Um, Either way, here, this kind of shows it.
Forces a ball.
So this is right at the end of this thing right here. It's right at the end of that protected section. So the center part, the 4 or 5 centered regions are completely isolated. There's no way to get to them. However, the side ones, they have a little hole or like a slit in the top that you could potentially like reach something down and like drag it out. Don't know why you would want to do that when you can just push balls in and push them out the other side. But it could be a good strat. I'm not 100% sure. Um, the other thing, as shown here,
Of either color.
went a little farther forward. No possession limits, which is really an interesting way to do this. We haven't had no possession limit robot in a very, very long time, I believe, because we were limited on the number of discs for whatever the disc game was called. Over, under, it was like one tribal, or yeah, it was one tribal per robot, I'm pretty sure. Uh, High stakes was 2 per robot, excluding the mobile goals. So, like I said, kind of an interesting concept that they decided to include. And then the one other thing was the parking. Now, the parking is like so odd. It's definitely an odd end game. It reminds me a lot to, I believe it was Tower Takeover, where there was the 3 platforms that you'd have to elevate your robot kind of onto. Obviously, it's not to that, but something you do see is the bump is like pretty significant, and so we could have some problem with, so something like this robot here, this would get stuck on it because this gear right here is too far down. So you're gonna have to kind of be careful with that because this is a very high bump to clear. The other thing is the points for this, only 8 points if you single park, but you get 30 points if you double park. Now, whether or not it's worth it to double park is up to you, because the way that I see it is, so these center so the center ones are worth 8 and 6 respectively. So that's what, 14 points. And then the side one, nope. Where are they? Are worth 10 points. So let's just say that you double park, that is gonna leave the zones unrestricted for a little bit. So even if you do double park, that's 30 points, but they could very easily take away some control points from you, which could take away points, but I don't think double parking should take enough time that it really should be a concern, because I saw another video that pointed that out, but I really don't think that's going to be a concern. So now let's move on to the game manual, because the game manual is also extremely important. And so, big thing, I'm just kind of going through this. Expansion limits is, if you go to this video here, 254 awesome robots. Thanks for the video of the reveal. If we walk through this, you'll hear something interesting.
Limited expansion, but also shrinking your robot back down to fit both robots in the end game. Tyler, what?
Here it is.
Unlimited possession and the expansion that we're allowing to get that unlimited expansion, but also shrinking your robot back down to fit both robots in the end game.
So he kind of stumbled over his words, but basically, what I think he was trying to say, and based off of what I've seen in the rule book, he meant to say unlimited possession and the expansion we're going to allow to get that unlimited possession. I'm assuming he just accidentally said expansion, but also shrinking your robot down. So yeah, shrinking your robot down is going to be a very big part of that. But until I actually see the rule book and how they define the expansion, it will be very interesting to see whether you actually have to shrink down your robot that much. But they do stress that they're gonna it makes it seem like they're gonna add like a crazy amount of expansion when in reality, if we come over here into the rule book, let's see. Horizontal expansion is limited. No horizontal robots may expand beyond the 18 by 18, following no horizontal by 22. So that's the standard game rules, I believe. Because otherwise they've got some conflicting things in this, I believe. One sec. And then if we go down here, rule modifications for the game. What first thing we see, robot placement. I'll get to that later. Don't think that's really something different. But expansion. This says 24 inches. Now, I believe this is only 2 more inches than the other years. I believe it was a 22-inch expansion limit the other years. But the way that they worded it, it got me really excited because I thought it was going to be a lot more than that. Like, maybe like, I don't know, like 28, or yeah, like a major expansion. But no, I'll take the 2 extra inches because it's definitely something that you can put to good use. But I definitely I expected it to be more than that. So kind of sad about that part. The other thing for setting up your robots, forget where in the rulebook it says this. But basically what it's saying is your 2 robots, or the 2 robots, so we don't have a autonomous line this year or something like that, but our autonomous line, if you want to call it that, is it has to be touching or like overlapping the uh end game parking. So interesting rule. So like all the robots are gonna be starting in the center of the field. Sorry, and that'll just kind of make it a little bit more interesting. Let's see what else can I find because it's really interesting because they said that there's gonna be all sorts of like juicy bits into the rules. I'm not 100% sure what they're talking about. I haven't personally found a lot of that myself. I found that it's pretty much standard game rules, which is kind of sad because they've really made it seem like it was gonna be a crazy switch up of game rules, and it really isn't. If you if you know of any other game rules that I may have missed, please tell me. Because I've kind of scanned through this and I really can't find anything that was like too crazy, and it's really sad. I thought there was gonna be some like good rules. But I'm really not saying it or seeing it much. Um, but yeah, that was it. Maybe unless I can find something good. What is this? Okay, one sec. Oh wait, one sec. Autonomous bonus. Oh, okay. Here, one sec. We're getting into juicy stuff. Okay, one sec. Here, this might be it. Okay, one sec. Let's see. Game specific to. Let's see. Block, control zone, long goal. Okay. Controlled. Loader, match load, park zones. Scoring. Okay, here we go. Here. Surely we can find something interesting in the scoring rules. Let's see. All scoring statuses are evaluated after the match ends. Zones. Ooh, wait, one sec. Wait. 5 seconds after match ends comes to a rest. Benefit of doubt for the last scoring option. And too close to call between two states. The 5-second mark. So it does not look like you can come into contact with the top of the field perimeter, so that could be very interesting. Let's see, benefit, nothing crazy. Block is considered score if it meets all the following criteria. The block is in contact with the inside surfaces of the goal, okay. Block is not in contact with a robot of the same color as the block. Okay. So that's another big thing is your robot cannot be touching your colored blocks. So that is something that we are going to want to watch out for. Block is not in contact with floor. Okay. Control zone. I was wondering about this. If a majority of the blocks scored in that control zone are the same color as the alliance, if it is for long goals, scored block is considered scored in the control zone if it is entirely contained within 2 control lines. So it has to be fully contained. So no 5 blocks. We're going to get maximum maybe 4. I think we're really only going to tend to see 3 that are fully enclosed by the zones. See. Green tape boundaries considered scored. Robot is considered parked if it meets all of the following criteria. Robot is not contacting the floor. Oh, okay. So, it's just what? Okay. So, you can't contact the outside floor if it's parked. It cannot be contacting any field elements. Okay. And the robot is at least within the vertical projection of its alliance colored park zone. What? Okay, so this is very interesting on how they're deciding to score this. And I think it makes it hard enough. It makes it harder. So why did they show this? I don't really know why they're showing this. This is never going to happen in a match. If it does, please tag me because I want to see that. That is so funny. But I do not think that is happening in a match. Let's see. Autonomous bonus. Okay. Ooh, win point. I do want to know this. Okay. Win point. Autonomous period with all the following tasks and no violations during the autonomous period. At least 7 blocks of the alliance's colors are scored. At least 3 different goals, including at least 1 scored block of the alliance colors. Okay. At least 3 blocks of the removed. Okay, so you have to remove some of them from the loaders. I assumed that was going to be a case because that's kind of an easy one. Let's see. Neither robot is contacting the park zone barrier. Okay, so yeah, pretty basic stuff. I could have probably guessed these. Modified typically typical. Let's see, what else do we have? Surely we've got some other really juicy information. Starting a match. Not contacting any blocks, that's pretty standard. Not contacting any goals or loaders, that's pretty standard. No other robots, completely stationary. So it has to be contacting the barrier that defines their alliance's park zone. So yeah, that's a really interesting way to start the match. I think this is going to create some really cool autons, especially because if you zoom in, you can see that you've got some blocks on the wall. So you may be seeing like some intakes that like extend out and like just grab both of those at the same time. That'd be really interesting to see. I don't know if that would actually be used for, whether that's actually going to be used. Let's see. Expand horizontally. Keep blocks in field. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. A robot may carry, push, or plow an unlimited number of blocks. Yep. To all parts of the robot. Yep. Don't cross auton lines. Engage auton lines. At risk. Match loads. Ooh. Match loads may be introduced during the game under certain conditions. For the purpose of this rule, introduce refers to the moment when a team member has released a block into the loader. This is actually kind of what I was wondering how they were going to do this. During this action, a team member's hand may temporarily break the plane of the field perimeter. This momentary interaction is an exception to rule GG4. Excessive, unnecessary, or unsafe actions when introducing a match load would maybe consider that a referee's discretion. Drive team members may introduce match load blocks by placing them into either of the loaders adjacent to their alliance stations. Blocks may only be added to loaders during the driver controlled period of the match. A match load may not be contacted by a robot prior to being placed into the loader. Match loading blocks may only be removed by a robot and only through the bottom opening of the loader. So nothing that comes over top and like reaches into it. I kind of expected that to be a rule. Don't reach inside the... Okay, do not reach inside enclosed sections of the goal. So I don't know how they describe the enclosed portions, but I'm assuming those are the scoring portions on those long sides. Ooh, juicy one. Park zones are protected. They are protected for the last 20 seconds of the match. That is a really long time. They cannot contact a park zone or robots that are parked in the zone. Wow. And it's considered a major, like usual. Let's see if we can find anything else good. Because it's definitely... So, they were really hyping up that there was going to be, like, a ton of, like, juicy stuff in the rules. And so far, I'm kind of disappointed. I'm going to be honest. So far, I'm kind of disappointed. We'll see if that continues. This means no humans. Destroy the robots. I think this is all like standard stuff. Yeah. I'm really not seeing any other like crazy changes to the rules. But it's definitely looking out to be a very like fun and interesting game. We haven't used blocks like this in like a long time, so it was definitely time for them to come back. Not really what I thought the game was gonna be. It's a very like unique game, and I kind of like that. Um, but I don't know. I feel like this is one of the games where you can't like fully decide on like how fun it is until like you get into the dirty work, messing around with the robots, having uh yeah, just having fun with it. So, not 100% sure. 2501S, I don't know when you sent that, but yeah, it's me. I'm back. Hope you're still viewing. Um, you're probably not gonna receive that for a couple minutes, but yeah. Uh, sorry about that. Kind of missed your message. I don't know how long that's been there. um, nothing too crazy. On the Roblox side. Uh, they kind of made it out to be. Um, but yeah, if I missed anything, go ahead and tell me. Cause getting a last look because I think that is pretty much it. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Mother's Day. Not much time left in it. It's kind of 7:50, so hope you have a good